Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. Hey, in this video I wanted to show off a crazy aggressive setup that I've been using this week in PvP and having some absolutely nutty kill streaks with it. We'll dive into the specifics of this setup in a minute, but first I want to direct your attention to a VPN service for you Trials gamers out there who has generously sponsored this video. In the last few months since Trials of Osiris launched, I've been DDoSed nearly 20 times. Gamers are getting clever and malicious, and it's good to have an extra layer of security to protect you from these people. This even led to days where my kids weren't able to participate in their online digital classrooms for schooling during the lockdown season, since our home network was located and attacked. It's frustrating, it feels very invasive, and it makes you feel pretty powerless too. That's where Surfshark VPN can step in the gap between you and malicious people on the internet and provide a strong layer of security. So just to be clear, Surfshark prevents people from DDoSing you by changing your IP address to make you anonymous online. Consider them your Ward of Dawn bubble that keeps threats at bay. If you're unsure what a VPN actually does, let me explain. Surfshark isn't something you have to try and hook up to your home router with managing cables and all that business. It's an app and a browser extension that lets you essentially place your browsing or gaming device anywhere in the world and lets you access the internet as if you were in that country. This lets you access and unblock websites and other content that you might not typically have access to. It also adds an extra layer of security when you're online to keep all of your passwords and photos and videos safe. There are a number of fascinating benefits to running Surfshark VPN. I do a lot of travel and often have to sign into unsecure public networks like airports and hotels and coffee shops, and Surfshark will let you use those networks safely without wondering if someone on that network is on the prowl for an unsafe device to hack into. Another interesting feature is that Surfshark lets you bypass geo restrictions too. That means there are websites and resources that are only available in certain parts of the world, but that can't stop you from checking them out anymore. There's parts of the internet you've never seen, and maybe you want to see what else is out there and satisfy your curiosity. If this sounds like something you're interested in, even just for gaming, it's a literal steal right now. Just use my code TrueVanguard to get 85% off plus 3 extra months of Surfshark for free. And if you're still unsure, Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's absolutely no risk to you. Check the links in the description and protect yourself and your devices and information today. Alrighty, let's get back to the Destiny content. In this gameplay, you'll be seeing primarily a fusion rifle called the Exile's Curse. This fusion rifle comes from the Trials of Osiris and was originally thought to be, well, pretty irrelevant. Not too long ago, I made a video to highlight this fusion rifle and its strengths, and since then I've acquired an even better role. This role that you're looking at is Firmly Planted and Disruption Break, both incredible fusion rifle perks. In addition, we've got Particle Repeater for some added stability, Corkscrew Rifling for better recoil direction, and a Stability Masterwork with a counterbalance mod. And this thing is an absolute laser, guys. It's pretty bananas. You can clearly see in this gameplay how unbelievably consistent this fusion rifle is. And notice how I often pre-charge and then like crouch right at the last second to get Firmly Planted to activate. And you do it to make sure that you're pre-charging regularly, not just waiting until someone is visible to charge the thing up. The Exile's Curse has a long charge time since it's a high impact fusion rifle. If you wait until you see the people, you should start to see them to start charging it, then you're probably going to get shotgunned in the face or sidearmed in the face, before you can get your VOOP off. So use your radar to tell you when to start charging and make an educated guess based on what the radar tells you and what you know about the layout of the map, to look in the right direction when they come into view. The second main part of this setup is the Devour perk. Now, ignore the number of whiffed Nova Bombs in this gameplay. I'm notoriously bad at throwing Nova Bombs. So just ignore those, or go ahead and absolutely lay into me in the comments section for it. Whatever works for you works for me. But Devour is the central perk in my subclass setup here. It's what allows me to confidently push into a group of enemies and trust that I'll be able to handle their numbers, because as soon as I get my VOOP kill, I'm gonna have full health, and the second and third guys will hopefully have to reload their weapons, while I can just chain my kills without having to break up my combat with reloads and health recovery. Devour is a pretty underused perk in PvP. People really do sleep on it, just like they sleep on this fusion rifle, because it makes a lot, well, in my opinion, honestly. I think it takes a lot more skill and mindfulness to really capitalize on Devour and utilize it to its full potential. But you can clearly see in the gameplay here, Devour can lead to some incredible plays and streaks where you should have died 2 or 3 times over. It's a mega fun. Trust me, try it. A lot of people avoid Devour, but there are so many different ways to queue up your Devour perk, whether it's your melee ability, whether it's consuming your grenade, or even dropping your... There's times where you're just going to want to drop your Nova Bomb to get that guaranteed first kill to get Devour started and start your chain, and that's fine too. And that's one of the reasons it's a little less approachable, is because you have to make the right decision in the right moment about the way that you're going to tee up the streak and get your Devour to start activating. The third and final main part of this build, the first was the fusion rifle, the second was Devour, and the third and final main part of this build is the exotic armor piece that I'm pairing with it. The whole goal here is to run and gun, and there are 2 things that typically force you to stop and break up your combat. The first of those 2 things is health recovery. Typically, you have to push pause, find cover, and get your health back one way or another. But we dealt with that using Devour, so that's now off the table. The second thing that slows down your combat and keeps you from really running and gunning is reloading your weapons. Reloads can often get you killed too, because you can't return fire until you finish your animation. It's a forced mechanic that sets basic guidelines for pacing in shooters, but we can bypass that mechanic too, and it requires the use of an exotic slot to do it. So I'm choosing to use the Transversive Steps exotic boots for my Warlock. They make it so that my currently equipped weapon reloads fully from reserves shortly after sprinting. And you can do this on command by queuing up a sprint at any time. That means I can sprint, slide, voop, and sprint out of my slide animation and fully reload my weapon after collecting ammo off the body of the first guy I vooped. This leads to some absolutely nutty chains, and you can see that very clearly in the gameplay. The beauty of this setup is that you don't need to slow down for anything at all. Screw stopping, never stop, just hold forward. As long as you're hitting your shots, you're going to keep ammo in your mag and health refreshing regularly. And that's why I highly encourage you to try this build out for yourself. See what kind of shenanigans you can get into. If you don't have a God-rolled Exile's Curse, then consider using a Wizened Rebuke, or an Alatha FR4, even an Aaron Till or a Telesto. Heck, use a Bastion for all I care. If people want to hate on your fusion, freaking let them. This is a video game, and your only job in this video game is to enjoy yourself. The joy and pleasure and enjoyment of other players is on them and on Bungie. It's not your responsibility, so you play how you enjoy playing the game. The collection's transversives will work just fine. I notoriously cannot get transversive steps to drop for me. I had one transversive steps drop for me in year 1, and that's the only time I've ever had them. Until about a week ago, when I finally got a second transversives pair, Armor 2.0, so I don't have to use the collections version. Finally had one drop at 64 stat points, and that's sort of reignited my love for transversives all over again. I'm also rocking that tasty new ornament from Eververse on them, and they look fabulous. So yeah, so there's a number of different variations that you can use for this build. I know not everyone has an Exile's Curse, not everyone has, I'm using Bad Juju in the gameplay, and Mida, I think, in one of the matches on Vostok, but mainly Bad Juju. I love Bad Juju. It's one of my favorite guns in the game. I think it looks incredible, sounds incredible. I love the red ornament on it, and I've loved it ever since it came out back in D1. You may even recall I had one of my earliest videos as a Bad Juju Sunsinger build that I had posted, and I've loved it ever since then. I know it's not the greatest gun in the world, I just really like it, and that's why I like to run it. But you could use something like, if you were using Bastion, you could use Blind Perdition. If you're using an energy fusion rifle like most of them are, then you have a lot of great options out there. Even Redrix right now is hitting for a lot of damage when the high impacts got buffed. But yeah, you also have the Chattering Bone, which I think is a phenomenal pulse rifle. You could use Vigilance Wing too. Lots of great options. So feel free to express your own creativity and use this as a starting point. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. If you want to support me directly, I don't have a Patreon or anything like that, but I do have a Facebook page where almost all of the supporter revenue goes straight to me. So you're welcome to go to the TrueVanguard.com website and click the support button, just like on Twitch, if you like my content and you want to see more of it. If you choose to support, you'll also get access to our Frontlines private group, where I give out free care packages every week with custom-made items, handwritten notes from me to you, and you even get access to our Frontlines clans and get to play with me. You know, I often pull in clan members for fun scrimmages, Iron Banner, trials, and more. So thanks so much for supporting me. I do love and appreciate all of you so much. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.
Zone C captured. Zone advantage is yours. Zone A lost. Who says warlocks are better with books than with guns? Okay, it was me. But I was lying. Rage is an excellent motivator.